The movie begins with a man named Marko meeting a Russian gangster. As soon as he arrives, he hands over a bag full of money and asks about his package. The gangster gives him a car key and informs him that the package is in the car trunk. Marko takes the key and leaves, but before going, he destroys the entire building where he met the gangster. Inside the car trunk, Marko finds a suitcase. As he picks it up, the scene cuts to the main character, Ethan. Ethan is with his wife, and they have just found out that she is pregnant. He is extremely happy upon hearing the news. It is also Christmas and both of them work at the airport. Due to the holiday, the airport is expected to be crowded. Thun, who works in the security sector, attends a briefing on handling the increased crowd. Later, he speaks to his boss, Phil, about getting a promotion because he no longer wants to check passengers at the boarding gate. Instead, he wants a position in baggage scanning. Phil initially refuses, as changes on such a busy day are risky. However, Ethan's friend Jason helps him by swapping their duties, allowing Ethan to work at the baggage scanning section. The scene then shifts outside the airport, where a man named Riley is inside an RV. He has kidnapped someone and, within minutes, hacks all the airport security cameras. It is revealed that Riley has also sent someone to kidnap Jason's family at his home. While monitoring the original CCTV footage of the airport, Riley notices Ethan instead of Jason at the baggage scanning section. This surprises him as he was expecting Jason. Riley and his team are criminals planning an illegal operation. Their plan was initially to blackmail Jason by kidnapping his family. However, since Ethan has taken Jason's place, they now need to find information on Ethan's family. Within minutes, Riley's hackers retrieve all of Ethan's personal details. They discover that Ethan has no other family except his wife, so they send their men to search Ethan's house. There, they find a medical report confirming that his wife is pregnant. They decide to use this information against him. At the airport, someone hands Ethan a package. Confused, he says that it is not his. Suddenly, he receives a message on his phone instructing him to put on an earpiece. Puzzled, he follows the instruction. A man on the other end of the line begins speaking and warns him that if he values his and his wife's life, he must follow orders exactly. Ethan does not understand what is happening. The man then tells him that soon, someone wearing a red cap will bring a suitcase. Ethan must scan the suitcase and allow it to pass without questioning anything. If he follows the instructions, both he and his wife will be safe. Realizing the danger, Ethan secretly tries to call the police. However, the criminals are watching him closely. They immediately warn him to disconnect the call, or there will be consequences. The man on the phone threatens that one of his men is currently pointing a rifle at Ethan's wife, and a single mistake could cost her life. As the call continues, the police answer, but Ethan remains silent and ends the call. Criminals understand that he will now obey their commands. They then order Ethan to lock his phone inside a locker. Ethan, trying to make sense of the situation, asks if they are terrorists. The man replies that they are not but are simply following orders from someone else. Curious, Ethan asks what is inside the suitcase. The man tells him that it is none of his concern, and even if he finds out, he must keep quiet. He warns that if the suitcase does not reach the plane or if anyone opens it, Ethan and his wife will be killed. Ethan then questions what they would have done if Jason had been at the scanning section instead of him. The man responds that Jason would have also followed their orders because his family had been kidnapped. This confirms that the criminals had planned everything carefully. Thun, trying to be smart again, attempts to send a message using his smartwatch. However, Riley, monitoring everything from outside the airport, notices this immediately. The man warns Ethan that he is making repeated mistakes and will not be given more chances. He instructs Ethan to take the smartwatch and lock it away. Ethan follows the order, realizing that sitting idly will not help him. The scene shifts to a police officer named Alana, who arrives at the location where Mark had met the Russian gangsters the previous day. While investigating, she discovers a watch near the corpse of a Russian gangster. Upon inspecting the watch, she finds a recording chip inside. The chip is damaged by fire, but she hands it over to the forensic department, requesting any possible data retrieval. The forensic team manages to recover the data but is unable to hear the audio due to the chip's damaged condition. The scene returns to Ethan. The man he is talking to informs him that his associate will arrive soon. Till then, they continue their conversation. Ethan listens carefully to the surrounding sounds and deduces that the man is inside an airport. Realizing that the man cannot see him, Ethan quickly gets up and hands over a boarding pass to another traveler, secretly writing something on it before passing it to the police. However, he is unaware that CCTV cameras are monitoring his every move. Riley notices everything and informs the other man. Meanwhile, the police begin to understand the situation. Before the officer can react, a man collides with him, seemingly by accident. However, this is part of a plan. During the collision, he injects the officer with a substance, causing instant death, and watches as the man disappears. Scanning the crowd, he finally spots him. Before the situation escalates with more police officers gathering, the man takes the boarding pass from the dead officer's hand and moves away. Upon seeing his face, it is revealed that this man is none other than Marko, the same man who killed the Russian gangster at the start of the movie. Ethan joins Marko, who reads the message written on the boarding pass. Marko then warns Ethan, saying that he keeps making mistakes. However, he forgives him this time, considering it the last warning. He threatens that if Ethan makes another mistake, his wife will be killed. He emphasizes that this is not just a threat but a promise. He then orders Ethan to go back to his scanner and do the job assigned to him. As Ethan returns, he finds that Jason is back in his place at the scanner. A police officer's sudden death has caused chaos, leading to tighter security. Due to this, Phil reassigns Jason to the scanner. When Marko learns about this, he orders Ethan to remove Jason from the scanner and take his place. Ethan approaches Phil, but Phil refuses, explaining that security conditions are too strict to make such changes. Understanding the situation, Ethan cleverly mixes alcohol into a cup of coffee and places it on Jason's table. He then reports this incident to Phil. Upon noticing alcohol near Jason's workspace, Phil immediately fires him, despite Jason's desperate attempts to prove his innocence. The scene shifts to Alana, who repeatedly listens to the recovered recording and discovers a reference to a deadly poison. This poison is so dangerous that anything exposed to it is destroyed instantly. Meanwhile, at the airport, Ethan regains his position at the scanner after successfully framing Jason. Crucial moment arrives when Marko's associate arrives with a bag for scanning. Following Marko's orders, Ethan scans the bag and realizes that it contains an extremely dangerous weapon. Though unaware of its exact capabilities, he understands that it has the potential to destroy an entire plane. It is revealed that this plane carries the same deadly poison that Alana was investigating. Ethan becomes extremely anxious, feeling nauseous. He rushes to the washroom, where Marko follows him and warns him again not to attempt anything foolish or he will be killed. Ethan stops Marko and tells him that the plane carries 2,000 passengers. Marko responds coldly, saying that if the mission fails, the weapon will be detonated right there, where 60,000 people are present. He leaves the choice to Ethan: save 2,000 passengers or let 60,000 people die. Disturbed, Ethan questions Marko's intentions. Marko replies that he does not want to kill anyone but is simply doing his job. The scene shifts back to Alana, who receives information from her team. She learns that someone named Ethan made a call to the police from the airport but remained silent, and a police officer mysteriously died, confirming that something suspicious is happening. Realizing the urgency, Alana dispatches a team to the airport and orders all security checkpoints to be closed. The airport, Phil gathers the staff as security tightens. Knowing that he is running out of time, Ethan quickly grabs Phil's scanner and entered the name of one of Marko's men, whose bag had been scanned properly. After doing this, he left the area. When Marko sees that the police officers are taking his man to another room, he asks Ethan what is happening. Instead of answering, Ethan simply says he can't help him anymore and removes his AirPods earpiece. He immediately goes to his wife. He wants to save her, but then he notices a laser aimed at her head, meaning someone has a gun pointed at her. He realizes that if he makes a wrong move, his wife will be killed. Silently, he goes back to the bathroom in a panic. Marko follows him and starts attacking him. To defend himself, Ethan pulls out his electric gun and points it at Marko. Marko tells him that he doesn't learn. He has made too many mistakes, and now he will face the consequences. Saying this, Marko activates the bomb inside the bag. He says that initially only 2,000 people were supposed to die, but now 60,000 lives are at stake. He warns Ethan that if he wants to save everyone, he must take the suitcase to a specific location, where Marko will instruct him on how to deactivate the bomb. Ethan rushes to the security room where the man's bag is being checked. He points a gun at Phil, preventing him from making a move. But before he can act, another man picks up a pen and stabs Phil in the neck, killing him. Seeing this, Ethan becomes furious and grabs the man, asking why he killed him. The man explains that his brother has been kidnapped, and if he doesn't comply, his brother will be killed. Now, Ethan contacts Marko and asks how to deactivate the bomb. Following Marko's instructions, he deactivates it just in time with only a few seconds left before detonation. Meanwhile, Alana, who is with a federal agent, rushes toward the airport. Suddenly, she gets a call from her team, informing her that the agent sitting with her is an imposter. The real federal agent has just arrived at the police station. Realizing the danger, Alana immediately points a gun at the man. In response, he speeds up the car and deliberately crashes it. The accident is severe, leaving both injured. The imposter does not want Alana to reach the airport. After the crash, the imposter grabs Alana by the throat, trying to strangle her. She struggles free and shoots him before escaping. Meanwhile, Ethan, following Marko's orders, takes the suitcase to the plane's cargo area. Marko contacts the man escorting the bag and gives him one last instruction: kill Ethan. The man points a gun at Ethan from behind, but Ethan notices this in a reflective surface and attacks first. A fight breaks out, and the attacker repeatedly tries to shoot Ethan. However, due to a backfire, the attacker accidentally shoots himself and dies. Taking advantage of the situation, Ethan quickly grabs the attacker's phone and tries to call his wife, but she does not answer as her phone is busy. He then calls his friend and informs him that his wife's life is in danger. The friend immediately goes to warn her. Nora, Ethan's wife, realizes the danger and repeatedly tries to call Ethan, but his phone is locked away. At the same time, Alana arrives at the airport and orders a lockdown. Marko reaches the cargo area and shoots Ethan. However, the bullet only grazes Ethan's leg, allowing him to escape. Marko demands the suitcase in exchange for Ethan's life. Ethan, appearing to surrender, hands over the suitcase calmly. Alana, searching for Ethan, reaches the cargo area. When she finally finds him, he pushes her away and starts running, telling her that his wife is in danger and he must save her. He also describes Marko's appearance so that Alana can identify him. Meanwhile, Nora runs to the parking area where Riley, who hacked everyone's phones, arrives to kill her. Before he can shoot, Ethan appears. Riley is about to fire, but a gunshot is heard and Riley falls. Turns out that the attacker who had been carrying the suitcase was killed earlier, and his brother, whom Riley had held hostage, shoots him in revenge. Ethan immediately understands that this man is the brother of the attacker who was forced to work for Marko. He informs him that his brother sacrificed himself to save him. The man is devastated by the news. However, the danger is not over. Ethan still needs to stop Marko from boarding the plane. He rushes, but it is too late. Marko is already inside. Fortunately, Ethan has placed a tracking sticker on Marko's suitcase. When scanned, it reveals Marko's location inside the plane. Ethan instructs his wife to enter the airline department and prevent the plane from taking off. The plane remains grounded. Marko will detonate the bomb on the spot. Ethan assures her that he knows how to deactivate it and will handle the situation. Nora quickly informs Alana, who is trying to stop the plane. However, realizing the risk, they allow the plane to take off. Meanwhile, Ethan sneaks into the plane's cargo area and opens the suitcase to deactivate the bomb. Marko immediately senses this and rushes to stop him. As soon as Marko enters the cargo, he shoots Ethan, hitting him in the leg again. Marko then retrieves his bag, believing the bomb is intact. However, when he opens it, he discovers that the deadly chemical inside the bomb is missing. Ethan has already taken it. Hearing gunfire, the pilot realizes there are armed individuals on board and turns the plane back toward the airport. Ethan, thinking quickly, pushes Marko into a freezer and throws the chemical inside before sealing it shut. Chemical spreads rapidly, freezing Marko's blood within seconds and killing him instantly. With the mission successful, Ethan has saved thousands of lives. When the plane lands, the police surround it. Alana, knowing the truth, orders Ethan's release. The first thing Ethan does is reunite with his wife. In the end, it is revealed that Marko was carrying out the mission to assassinate a Russian officer. With the crisis averted, everyone celebrates Christmas in peace, marking the end of the story. I hope you liked my video. If you did, please like and share it. And if you're new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe. We keep bringing such content regularly. Peace.